Hey, and welcome to Quarantine Cuisine. It's me, Mrs. Chase. I can't wait to cook with you today. Please follow along to learn how to cook pizza pretzels. First, you'll want to preheat your oven. So make sure you set it to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, prepare your baking sheet. You'll need to cover it with a piece of parchment paper or some aluminum foil. Now gather your ingredients. You'll need flour, sugar, salt, yeast, warm water, pizza sauce, as well as cheese and any other toppings you'll want to add. So you're going to pour 200 milliliters of warm water into a large bowl. Now sprinkle 10 milliliters of quick yeast on top of the water. Now make sure your water's warm because it helps to activate the yeast and it'll help the pizza pretzels to grow larger in the oven. You'll also need to add 10 milliliters of sugar to your bowl. Now, the yeast actually digests the sugar, and in response, it releases air bubbles. And these air bubbles get trapped in the dough and help the dough to rise. So now you can give the yeast and sugar and warm water a little bit of a stir. Make sure you're mixing in all of the yeast, and you'll notice that it starts to get foamy. That's how it should look. So I know it might look kind of gross, but that's normal. The yeast is starting to become active. Now we're going to measure our flour. So I'd like you to start with half of a cup, so 125 milliliters. Dump that right into the yeast mixture and then start to kind of stir it together lightly with a fork. So you're whisking it, but you're not worried if there's lumps. So just try to work some of that flour in. Now go ahead and add another 125 milliliters or half a cup. Keep incorporating the flour and adding it gradually. Now it's kind of hard for me to stir with one hand here. You're going to be able to do a better job. Now this batter or dough is too runny to take out of the bowl just yet, so that means we need to add some more flour. Once you've added another half cup of flour, you should start to see it forming kind of a ball of dough, and you should be able to lift it out of the bowl and place it on your countertop. We're going to sidetrack here for a second. You're going to grab some pizza sauce. I like to add a little bit of sriracha for some heat. Mix that in and then set it to the side. Now prep your station. So cover your countertop lightly with probably a quarter cup to a half cup of flour. This prevents the dough from sticking to your countertop. So make sure that's spread out evenly. Now we're going to place our dough on the counter. Now comes the fun part. We're going to knead the dough. So notice how I'm pulling and folding. I'm pressing with what's called the heel of my hand. So it's the very base of your hand where you can put a lot of pressure on the dough. So again, press and fold, press and fold. You want to make sure the dough isn't sticky and you're incorporating that flour as you go. If you notice that it's still sticky, you're going to need to continue to knead it. The more you knead it, the more your pizza pretzels will rise. Next, you're going to form the dough into 4 separate pieces. So you're going to end up with 4 pizza pretzels. Now begin by rolling one of these pieces into a long, thin log. Again, make sure you're incorporating flour, but if it starts to get too dry, you can wet your fingertips and then press into the dough. This should help to kind of counteract or balance any over drying of the dough. So now I'm going to form the dough into a pizza pretzel. So start by creating a rainbow or a horseshoe shape. Now take the right piece, fold it over the left, and form a crisscross. Now twist those ends together once more. Grab both of the loose ends and pull over. And now we have a nice pretzel shape. Let me show you one more time. So again, roll out a long, thin log of dough, form a horseshoe or a rainbow, crisscross your right piece over the left, flip it again, and pull those two loose ends over the top. And you're done. Now grab a pastry brush and dip it lightly into the pizza sauce and begin to brush across the top. Try to get an even coating across the top of your pizza pretzel and make sure you're dividing up the sauce amongst all four evenly. For the pizza sauce, I used 50 milliliters of tomato sauce and I added a tablespoon of oil, so 15 milliliters, plus spices like oregano, basil, and garlic. Next, add your toppings. I've used some finely diced pepper and some mozzarella cheese. Now, place the pizza pretzels in the oven. Your oven should already be set to 425, and you're going to set your timer for 12 minutes. Finally, you can take them out of the oven at 12 minutes, grab a toothpick or a knife, and check to see that the pizza pretzels are finished. So you need to stick the toothpick into the dough, and if the toothpick comes out clean with no sticky dough left behind, then you know your pizza pretzels are fully cooked. If there's any loose dough, just put them back in the oven for 2 to 3 more minutes. Enjoy your pizza pretzels!